Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a great day, a great week. Um, this is the part two. If you've not watched part one of what big weapons demons will use against you, please watch that video so that you can kind of get on the same page with what I'm talking about now. Because I really focus in on, and every Christian should, we need to be putting up hedges of protection around ourselves, around our body, our mind, our soul, around our homes, our cars, our work, our land. We need to be just steadily setting up those hedges. Um, and that's for the sake of the supernatural, the evil in it that wants to do you harm. And it does, it sets up like a barrier, and gives you space, gives you godly space. So I always pray up my hedges of protection. I have to do that daily. It's a daily thing, especially if you're a Christian, you're standing up for God. You need to be ready for the battle, okay? That's, Paul talks about it. You need to be ready for the battle. You need to be ready for it because they will bring it. Demons will bring it. The hedge of protection that you pray up, and you can petition angels to line those hedges of protection. That's actually what I do. That is biblical. I'm not talking about praying to angels. I'm talking about petitioning God, speaking directly to God, speaking directly to Jesus through Jesus, and asking for those hedges of protection, and petition angels of warfare to line those hedges of protection. Okay, you need to do that daily. I do. But what I want to talk about is the second big thing that I learned a little over 2 years ago, close to 2.5 years ago, that I didn't realize could happen. And basically, 2 years ago in the spring, I had a friend staying with me, and this is someone very, very close friend, 25 years. We've been extremely close friends. Acted a fool when we were kids. Now, as adults, we are both strong Christians. And that helps. That really helps when you have somebody that will stand those lines with you. You know, it really helps. But this friend was staying with me, and they were staying in my guest bedroom. And they had laid down to go to sleep one night and felt something come into the room and told it to leave. It said no. So my friend proceeds to get up, come into the living room where I'm awake, and tells me what happened. Told me it said no. So I proceed to open every door of the house. I am speaking to everything and anything, knowing it needs to leave. And it's kind of like silence, like nothing happens. I go to bed, bed starts shaking. Next day, I don't say anything. I mean, I know that sounds kind of scary, but this was stuff that this thing would do to me when I was a very young child. And it scared me then. Now it's irritating more than anything. But my friend that's staying with me the next day tells me, same thing, that their bed was moving. I'm like, okay, we've got something big. When you've got things moving like that, you've got something big in your house. You do. So we're both just praying. We're praying together. We're doing everything we possibly can. You know, we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. We're not doing anything we're not supposed to be doing. So we're just fervently praying about it. And that's what you got to do in those situations. Fervently pray about it. So that's what we were doing. And this kept going on for a couple days. And this is just not a commonality. This is not something that I'm used to. You know, this was stuff that happened to me when I was much, much younger. But in the past 7 years, you know, after God showed me about 3-4 years ago that I needed to set up hedges of protection. When God showed me that took care of so much. Like, that's why I say daily do it. That's what I have to do daily. And it pushes back, it puts space between you and anything that wants to do wrong things to you. You know, it's protection. It's what God offers his children. Again, this authority is through God. It's not because I'm just so awesome. It's because I'm a child of God, and God is the authority figure in my life. He runs the show. So you have to have God's authority. You have to be a child of God to be able to use his authority. You know what I mean? So I'm not understanding why this thing won't leave. My friend who was staying with me for like a week, they didn't understand what was happening. This was new to them too. So this goes on for several days. And it even got so bad that just to get a little rest, I would play. You would think just playing the Bible in general would anger demons. There's something I've learned that's very specific. And why the King James Bible? It's just what it is. Demons hate the King James Bible. You put it on a table, they're not going to go near that table. That's how they are. So we were like literally playing that during the day and at night. We weren't playing just the King James version of the Bible, though. We were playing the King James version of the book of Revelation. And it would take a long time for me to get into why demons are so repelled by the book of Revelation. But there is a reason. There is a reason. God tells us to seek wisdom above knowledge. Okay, demons have more knowledge than us. They just do. God's like, seek wisdom, okay? That's how you fight these spiritual battles. Seek my wisdom and apply my wisdom, So this was just something that really helped because it did get so crazy, and we would play the book of Revelation, King James Version, and it would clear things out for a while. It would. It's unpleasant for them. It just is. It's a book about their demise. They know it's coming. This isn't a surprise to them. Demons know the Bible. Let me just say that. Demons know the Bible. They know the Bible better than you know the Bible. They could read the entire Bible without reading it, without looking at it and reading it. They could read it backwards, from the book of Revelation to the book of Genesis. That is how well they know it. Okay? That is why God says, seek wisdom above that knowledge. Okay? Spiritual warfare. This is how you have to play it. It's different than the natural world. Okay? But we would play this and it would give some room. But I mean, we were just having this activity. My bed was shaking. The next day, he tells me, my bed is shaking. I'm just like, okay. I knew it wasn't my imagination, but when you have somebody that backs up, that cooperates what is happening to you, that helps. It really helps to have a friend who's spiritually rooted, who's dedicated. Okay, because that's going to help. The Holy Spirit has like a dimmer switch, and it just like lights that sucker all the way up when you are full of the Holy Spirit and when you have multiple Christians around you. It clears things out, but things weren't working that usually worked, and I didn't know why. So, sorry about that. I thought I'd turned my phone off on airplane mode. But this is all happening. We didn't stop praying, kept doing it. This went on for like 4 or 5 days. And I was laying down to go to sleep, and I'm talking to God, and I start hearing a group of people talking. No TVs are on in the house. I live out in the country. Like, what am I hearing? What is this? What it ended up being was a group of people. A group of people using astral projection, hand in hand with demons, attacking. Let your mind wrap around that as a Christian, someone can use witchcraft against you through astral projection and attack you with demons. Hand in hand, both doing it. Okay? That was something why would I? It was just something I really didn't consider. I really hadn't. But that was the reality of what was happening. And in some way, it's kind of, we set up hedges of protection for the demonic realm. Well, the rules are a little bit changed when you're dealing with people. Okay, it can be. And 2 years ago, when this happened, this is the first time God introduced the concept of setting a hedge up of protection between you and people also. Christians do it with demons. Lord, protect me from the demonic realm, from evil. We don't necessarily think we need to do that because of people. That's an out there concept. And I got interested in the cult when I was really young, but I was never into New Age and things like that. And astral projection is something, if you were into New Age or anything like that, you know what I'm talking about with astral projection. I didn't really know anything about it. I kind of knew the concept, but that was it. So of course I wasn't thinking, surprisingly people can do this. But what God let me see is that I needed to add on to my hedges of protection, my praying for that. And what I needed to do was to pray for the vision of people working against me to cut their vision off. And I call it living water. That's what I came up with to call it. Because what God let me see is that when you set up that hedge of protection where people can't attack you, where you're cutting off their vision, when they astral project and try and attack you, all they can see is living water. It's like a beautiful, crystal clear water, beautiful water with a glowing, gorgeous light, God's light. So I started adding that on with my prayers of hedges of protection. I started doing that. I started praying up the hedges of protection for people also that were working against me. And as soon as I did this, it stopped. Immediately. I didn't say anything. I wait till the next day and see, what kind of night my friend had in the guest bedroom. And they tell me the bed wasn't shaking. Like, everything had stopped. I was like, okay. It's like, that's confirmation right there. It's very sneaky, demons couldn't just cross over and battle me in a group by themselves, so they started using people. But you pray up those hedges of protection to protect yourself from demons and protect yourself from people. And I'm going to get into part 3 of this story, okay, because there's more. All right, because this is just my experience from 2.5 years ago. And I'm going to tell you something that happened in April. See, that was the only situation I'd ever had with people working against me. But then in April, I found out something else. So in saying that, take it all in, and I will make a part 3 and upload it as soon as possible. Okay? God bless.